Okay, so how's it going, guys? This is Rio Murata, photographer based in Tokyo. So in today's video, I'd like to talk about Marix's 35mm 800T film stock in general, and I have a feeling that many of you viewers who follow me on my YouTube channel or who have ever traveled to Japan in general have probably seen this film stock starting to pop out in various film stock stores or maybe camera stores, and I thought it'd be nice to mention them on my channel, and also introducing their film stocks and the style of sales they have on both, including their website and in stores in general. And honestly, this is going to be my biased opinion on their 800 Cinestill 800T variant film stock. So fully disclaimer, this video is not being sponsored by Marix themselves. This is more like my own contribution to the film community, because when I see something I have to make contents on it if it's related to film, and also I guess it will benefit my viewers and subscribers by giving them more education and also information if you're ever traveling to Japan. So yeah, let's get going. So recently I found out that this Marix brand is actually a Japanese film company based in Osaka that basically re-rolls Kodak motion picture film onto their own patrone, and and they call it their own brand as Marix series of film stocks. And they do have a variety of film stocks available in stores, of various camera shops. Personally, I see a lot of them being sold in Camera Kitamura shop downtown Shinjuku, and also Lemonsha has Marix film stocks along with Yodobashi Camera and many others. So I was basically researching about them, and they do sell a hell lot of motion picture film from Kodak, and they basically have the 100D, 400D, the 320T, and the 800T if I'm right, and they do also sell black and white film stocks within their lineup, including 100, 200, 400 speeds. However, since I do not shoot with black and white, I cannot say much. This is more towards color negatives, so yeah, we'll be focused on that type of area in general. Introduction: if you're new to the film stock of 800T, this film stock came from the motion cinema film, and in the cinema world, the majority of people use Kodak motion film, which is called the Vision series, such as a 250D, 500T, which originally came, as the name implies, from the film industry or film stock that was used in the film industry. But Cinestill was actually the first company to bring the cinema type of film into stills photography type of films. But you have to understand, as a rule of thumb, that motion picture film, you had to process it in ECN2 method, which requires different chemicals and I guess materials compared to the typical stills photography type of processing film, which is a C41 if I'm right, CM41 if I'm right, for color negatives. And what happens if you bring motion picture to C41 process is that you will highly, if I'm right, destroy the equipments that are used to process in the C41 process. So there was this barrier of entry, but Cinestill was actually the first company to implement by removing the remjet layer, which affects the the C41 process. They can basically process that film stock into the C41 process without having any issues. However, there is this trade-off where, because they removed the ramjet layer, the film stock causes more halation, and that layer was something used to prevent halation from happening, but because they removed it, you get a lot of halations, and there has been this debate of whether people like it or not. I actually like it, and if I had the opportunity, I would love to shoot with Cinestill 800T, but it was really expensive in my mind. I went a little bit off topic. Okay, so another educational information for you guys: because it is 800T, T stands for tungsten based, meaning that it is balanced at or rated at 3200K, meaning that because it's rated lower than daylight balanced film negatives, such as, I don't know, Fuji Color or Kodak Portra, which is rated around 5000 Kelvin. What happens is that when you shoot with a tungsten based film, you will get a colder type of tonality in your image when you're shooting outside in sunlight. So you'll get sort of like a bluish, cyanish sort of like tint into your image. However, when you shoot it during the night, because it is 3200K, this film stock in general will get, how should I say, will like render the reds really beautifully and more cinematic. And that's basically the reason why this film is basically preferred among a lot of people as a film stock to shoot during night compared to in the daylight. So yeah, what caught me off guard was from I think last year to this year, still it's continuing. The price of Cinestill 800T costs a whooping $30 in Japan, which is really absurd. And that price hasn't changed. And if you live in North America or if you live somewhere near America where Cinestill and I guess is located, you can purchase it from B&H or from Cinestill's home website. You can purchase it for $15 if I'm right. Cinestill 800T, both the 35mm variant and also the 35mm and also the 120 version. However, in Japan, like I said, it costs like $30, which is insane. And as an average consumer, that is just stupendously expensive. And although I love Cinestill 800T, that's like beyond what I can afford as of now. So I was basically looking for an alternative until this Marix 800T popped out. And like I said, there's 2 points of sales for the 800T and Marix's film stocks. One is you can purchase it within stores, and I think I said in the earlier part of the video, if you purchase it within store, it costs roughly 2,250 yen, which is roughly $18 USD in Japan if you buy it in stores. However, there is a catch, which is their online website. Because I live in Tokyo, Japan, I was able to purchase it with free shipping. However, this might differ depending on where you live outside of Tokyo, Japan, because I do not live outside of Tokyo, Japan. I do not know how much the shipping will be, etc., etc. But the main topic here is that this 800T and also various other film stocks, they basically sell it on their online website in 2 sort of like configurations. One is their default packaging, which comes with a canister in the box. You know, you guys love those kinds of like, I guess, packaging. However, they also sell an eco package format, which is basically they don't give you the canister, they don't give you the box. They basically tightly seal the film itself in an aluminum foil or something to sort of like make the shipping much more cheaper. And by doing that, and if you purchase it on that configuration, you can purchase it for 1,850 yen, which is roughly $15, exactly the same price of Cinestill 800T. So that's actually why I thought this would make sense to my viewers and subscribers, because you can never purchase a Cinestill 800T at that price point. So that's actually rather intriguing in my mind. What was rather funny was that my friend Fujita-kun, a guy from Osaka who's actually living in Tokyo right now, kept on sort of like dragging me to random location. He actually dragged me to 3 locations, and I thought it would be nice to just test this film stock, the Marix 800T. He dragged me to KQ Line's Kita Shinagawa area, which used to be a really old, torn down area within the Shinagawa area, sort of like a downtown type of area. And later he dragged me to Aoyama Yokocho and shot some photos there. We couldn't find anything interesting, unfortunately. And then he dragged me later that day to Haneda's Airport Terminal 3, which I was like, oh wow, kinda, and shot some photos there. So some photos to share for you guys, to give you guys sort of like an indication and an idea of what this film can do. And it's like basically the exact same thing as Cinestill 800T. If you shoot it during the sort of like day, you get a cyan type of like image. If you shoot it at night, you get a red type of sort of like really cinematic type of image. And obviously I actually enjoyed like shooting with this film stock after coming back from a long time, ever since Cinestill 800T became real expensive in Japan. So if Marix, if the CEO is watching this video, I highly suggest you to create the 120 version of this film stock, because that's probably something that a lot of photographers, a lot of medium format shooters would really want, because there's not many like 800 ISO speed film stocks available in the public. There's only the Lomography 800 and the Portra 800, which is ridiculously expensive. So yeah, please make the 120 version, then I will support you with all my might probably. So yeah. And also what's interesting about Marix's like website, when I was basically fishing around their like whole like website itself, I realized that they were actually selling the CN41 processing kit actually for 12 rolls, which caught my attention, and I wish I had the opportunity and the equipment to do C41 process within my house, but I do not have that much space at my disposal. And what's also interesting about their website is they also sell ECN2 chemicals, which rarely you can find in Japan. So if you want to do cinema type of processing, you can do that. I do not know how you do it, and because I never learned the ECN2 at my back in photography school, so that looked really nice in my opinion. So yeah, that's basically it on my coverage of the Marix 800T, and also talking about the company of Marix themselves and their distribution channel. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, found it informative. And if you're ever traveling in Japan, this is something important that I forgot to mention, but if you're ever traveling to Japan, and one of my videos I said you should highly purchase your film from B&H and bringing it over, but 800 ISO film is pretty risky because due to x-rays and how powerful they are getting, and you could get some kind of fogginess, if I'm right, if the x-ray directly affects your film stock. So I sort of like neglected like suggesting people to bring the 800 ISO films to Japan, but because Marix is available within Japan, if you want to ever shoot with Cinestill 800T, it might be wiser to just hold your horses and don't purchase it from B&H or Cinestill, but instead just purchasing it in Japan. Then you can save a couple of dollars, and at the same time you can basically, after shooting with that Marix 800T, you can process it within a lab within a day or so, and you can return to your home country without the film negatives being affected by the x-rays. So yeah, I went a little bit off topic again, but made some kind of dedication towards this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video, found it informative. And yeah, if you have any questions, please leave it in the comments section below, and yeah, I'm happy to reply. We will see you next time. Peace out.